All right, guys. So it looks like these guys, just want some more publicity. So I'm going to go ahead and give them that. So this video, Decentralized Masters or whatever, it's been started to become a little bit more popular. I think maybe they're doing some marketing campaigns, or there's just more interest being driven to that offer for whatever reason. So my videos started getting a little bit more popular or whatever. Soon enough, literally like as of this morning, because I don't care, I handle this stuff right away now. I basically got this copyright takedown request or whatever. So they just blanketly took down my video. There is nothing wrong in my video. My video was up for probably close to a year of this company with like no issues. Okay, like copyright stuff, like when that stuff happens, that typically happens right away. It doesn't happen way down the line, which leads me to believe that there is some suspect at play here. So this has happened once before. I think my other video is still up, but there was another guru out there somewhere who went ahead and decided to have my video taken down because it was just laying everything out, like it was being fully transparent. See, the thing is that these gurus, they know that they're essentially trying to sell a silver bullet to unsuspecting people. And the truth is that a lot of these business models, like if they would just have the authenticity of saying like, hey, there's no silver bullet, like it takes hard work, like my system can work as long as you put the work into it. Like that's full honesty and transparency. I think a lot of programs can actually work, but it's their marketing that hurts them. It's their marketing that sets up unrealistic expectations. And it's like, I guess something here is going on with Decentralized Masters. I hate to kind of put them on blast like this, but there's nothing wrong in my video. I'm going to play it for you here in a moment. But simply I want to describe what happens sometimes is these companies, when they start realizing that people are researching, and then they get into their own heads and they start researching what other people are saying about them, they'll happen across people like me that just shoot it straight and tell you what it is. And that honestly, like, it makes them really mad. They see it as like a threat for whatever reason, when it's like, no, I'm just pointing out like, hey, here's these points of improvement you could have. This is what people are saying, how about you address those instead of avoiding it. And so they have two options. They can either address it, properly, or they can avoid it and they can try and take somebody like me down. And when I have the time, I will let them know, like I'm letting them know right now. It's like, I see what you're doing. You're going to hire some media group from overseas called Pepper Media over in India, which if you go over to Glassdoor, you're going to see that they have poor reviews on their company, 2.9 stars. I think we can all agree that none of us are going to ever go work for a 2.9 star company. So essentially what they did is they outsourced this takedown to some company in India, claiming that the content in the video is theirs, when quite literally, one, it's a screen share, everything's public domain, it's my opinion at that, based off of my own personal insights, having been in the industry and around it for so long. Like, it is so very clear, and this is going to do nothing but honestly just kind of, bite them in the butt, because it could have been so much more simple. You could have reached out to me. You could have had so many different options here, but you chose to go the route of the coward, which is trying to take my video down. So what I'm going to do now that you're not going to be able to get rid of is I'm going to play this video for everybody to see, and then we're going to stop it and we're going to move on about our day. And hopefully you can learn your lesson that you can't just go ahead and take down anybody's video whenever you want. So without further ado, let's hop into it. Hey guys, in this video we're going to go ahead and talk about Decentralized Masters by Tangera. Now, the reason why you're watching this video in the first place is because you're wanting to know whether or not it's legit, but even further than that, you're looking for a different kind of way to make money online. So before I get into this, I'm just going to dive into what I do real quick. Just open your eyes a little bit more to what's available out there. So what I did was, like 5 years ago, I got into this thing called local lead generation. And so basically all it was like I'd build a website for an actual service-based business, and I would rank that on Google through some basic SEO tactics. And pretty much this website right here, my very first one, it only took me 6 to 8 weeks to do so. And once it's ranked, it's stayed ranked over 5 years. I haven't touched the site, and it's nothing crazy either. It's just a pretty bare bones Weebly build with content on there so that Google likes it, so that Google ranks it. But people see that it's number one, they see the website and all the information it has, then they just click this phone number and they get forwarded off to a contractor that I work with who just takes care of the work. Now, if you want to learn more about how I actually make money with this business model, go ahead and check out this link here. I'll have it down for you in the description as well. But it pretty much answers any question you could possibly have. And if you have other questions, I would love to hear them down in the comments below. But getting back to Decentralized Masters, the idea here is learning how to invest intelligently, and mainly through crypto. Price points. Okay, so price points is something that you're always worried about right off the top, right? As we'll see on their Trustpilot later, their products range anywhere from $47 to $70,000. It looks like the most common product that they have, that they offer, the most common coaching program that they offer, is like a $25,000 package, but it's not really $25,000. It's only $25,000 if you don't put up any resistances. You'll see later in one of the reviews that I'll go through in detail. They'll have like a $9,000 discount if you're not ready to pay 25 grand up front, and then they try to put it under the guise of scholarships, but we'll get into that here in a minute. Checking out their refund policy real quick, they don't actually have any refunds. It's just all non-refundable. You can cancel your subscription, right? But that's pretty much it. So that kind of sucks. My viewpoint on refunds in general is that if somebody just doesn't like the product, if it doesn't work for them, they should just get their money back. I don't understand why this, well, actually I understand why the space is the way it is, because all these people have crazy marketing budgets that they don't tell you about that they have to make money back on. The way that you can know if a coaching program is, say, just more legit than any of the other ones, they'll have like a really clear upfront refund policy that often says that you can get a full refund within X amount of time or even unlimited amount of time. The people that have the most confidence in their product, they'll offer an unlimited refund policy because they're not worried about the product that they're selling and people trying to back out of it. Which you'll notice with, that thing I talked about in the beginning, unlimited. But that said, these guys, no refunds is pretty much where you're sitting at. If you go over to Reddit, you'll see like these two threads, which I went through. This one seems to have nothing but positive things to say, while this one has nothing but negative things to say. And because the language on some of it's choice, I'm not gonna really share that on screen. But basically Reddit showed me a mixed bag. If you go over to Trustpilot, you'll see 348 positive, largely positive reviews, 4.9 star, 96 5-star rating. But when I was reading these, I was like, okay, there's a lot of positive sentiment, right? There's a lot of like, hey, this person's awesome. This person's been helpful. The group's been helpful. Awesome, right? But there wasn't really, talks of, as you see, as I'm scrolling through here, there's not really talks of like how much money people are making based off of everything, right? It seems to be a lot of more mindset, more like everyone's feeling good about themselves, but nothing down into the nitty gritty as far as like results and return on investment. I mean, if you're about to spend $25,000 on a product, it's safe to say you probably want to make 25 grand plus some back, right? So that's why when I dug a little bit deeper, I started looking at the 1-stars first. This one, I don't really think this should count. It doesn't really detail much of anything, but they did try to give an actual reply back, so I appreciate that. This one right here I thought was actually interesting, right? Because they said specifically no metrics to verify results. The post, like one post talks about the success, or not one post talks about the success. And I found that interesting. I mean, 25 grand for, no known ROI. I think that's a good point. And then right here, the owners are saying $47 up to $70,000, which is crazy. I mean, I don't know what kind of thing they can offer for 70 grand, but I would hope that there'd be some kind of, verification of sorts for ROI, just as anyone would kind of expect spending that kind of money. You can't really find these guys on the BBB. If you go over to Instagram, which we will here in a second, you'll see they've got about 10,000 followers there. But real quick, before we head over there, I wanted to check out this for us. So this, let's see here, this one. So a very unfortunate discovery from a mastermind participant that left us wondering what else is untrue within Decentralized Masters. So basically they said that one of their friends paid 25 grand and he was, encouraged to get other people to join. So this lady's husband went ahead and signed up. And then when he said 25 grand was too much, they lowered it to 16K. And like what she says here is straight on the money, right? A 9,000 difference just because we said no, the 25 grand. So they were upset, and so was the friend. He was like, well, I had to pay way more. Why are they getting way less, And then they said the reason was, and you hear this time and time again in the coaching space, which means I know for a fact which sales strategy they're likely following, which is funny because I've heard the same rebuttal time and time again with these different programs. But it's for people who take action. Like it's a fast action discount, right? I think it's just
It's freaking hilarious. And then, yeah, you know, they're trying to charge as much as they can. If they say no, they'll lower it. I guess somebody had even paid less than $15,000 at this point. And then talking about like the false scarcity that a lot of these programs talk about, right? Is like, oh, we only let, you know, X amount of people in. That's actually not true. It's open to everybody who pays, for one. And for two, when they're like, oh, we only let in, you know, 5% of people or 10% of people, like whatever that number is, that's likely their closing percentage, because it's very hard to sell someone on bullshit when it's $25,000, right? But that's my own personal opinion. I'll digress. Sorry, I got a tongue-tied there. And then, yeah, you know, 100 people instead of like the 10 to 12. And I found the response kind of funny. They do back up the whole $47,000 to $70,000 thing. And they try to say it's, you know, scholarship funds like schools, blah, blah, blah. Again, I've heard that time and time again, and it's just not true at the end of the day. It's a way that they try to save face and prop themselves up. Here, I guess I would kind of buy this rebuttal of saying, you know, hey, we have a sales team, and each individual on the sales team brings in, you know, 10 to 12 people per month. You know, that I could believe, but I think it's also just convenient at the same time. And then, yeah, oh, we receive over 10,000 applicants, yet less than 2% are invited to join the mastermind. Actually, let me try something here real quick. You know, whip out the old calculator. Okay, so by that math, it'd be like 200 people that are being let in. So they must have a crazy high sales team. And if we're talking 200, multiply that by $25,000, that's $5 million a month. Just crazy. But obviously there's like, you know, there's deception in the sales practices, I would say. Misleading at best, right? I've just seen a lot of the same rhetoric with lots of different sales calls, and this is just no different. It's just a high-ticket program, high-ticket group, mastermind, whatever you want to call it, that doesn't necessarily have results backing them up. Now, they'll also say, oh, well, you know, check out our testimonial page, check this out, check that out. I've gone through testimonials before with other programs because it's a huge commonality between how they pick and choose social proof. Most of the time, if you come across people in testimonials where their names aren't necessarily blurred out, just go ahead and like reach out to that person or check them out on social media and see like, you know, how successful they maybe are, or maybe how successful they're not, because they only had that one blip of success and then the rest of it was downhill. Like, I can't tell you how many times between different programs that I've, you know, researched and, you know, done some little detective work on, that when I reach out to these people, they're like, yeah, I had that success that one time, but then never again. And like, it was just a one-time thing. But the gurus in question have these testimonials for life that kind of give off like this person's life was changed forever, when it wasn't. It was just one lucky day, basically. But yeah, checking them out on Instagram, got about 10,000 followers. They're verified. I think that's probably just a thing that they pay for. When you look at the numbers here on like the likes, I don't really buy the whole 10,000 followers. I think there's got to be some puff up there a little bit, unfortunately. Checking out their YouTube channel is where they look to be a little bit more active. They've got 4,000 subs, and I totally believe those numbers because of the view counts here. I mean, you know, a couple hundred views a day and over 9,000 views a month. I'd say that's pretty legitimate, so I don't question that whatsoever. But that said, it's like kind of bringing this to a close. It's like, do I recommend it? Well, if all you're interested in is like, you know, cryptocurrency, essentially like decentralized finance, you can find so much good information for free online. And if you have $25,000, $70,000, I really don't think you should be looking into something like a mastermind group that you have to pay to get into. You probably already have a good circle of people around you in the first place. You can pick up a ton of free info online instead of just dumping it into a program that you may or may not actually see results out of. That said, I know you guys are looking to make money online. Hopefully that thing at the beginning that I showed kind of got the wheels turning a little bit. If you have any questions about this program in particular, go ahead and drop them down in the comments below. And of course, as always, like, share, comment, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.
All right, so clearly you guys just watched the whole video. There's nothing really demeaning in there. I just shot it straight and told everyone kind of what it was, and I put data back up to prove it. The Instagram thing, the social play with the YouTube channel, knowing the ratios of follower counts to likes to views, all that stuff, that information, you can even look it up yourself. That's how I go based off of my research and stuff, of being able to determine what's artificially inflated versus what's not. The fact that, you know, they felt the need to like hire some outside company from India to try to take down the video, I think speaks volumes. And also it's like most of these coaching programs with these offers, like, I'm sorry, like $5 million a month, that's not that's not like super realistic. Like, I mean, and then not to mention the amount of money it takes to generate that amount of leads, like through advertising and stuff like that. Like it gets very messy very fast, especially when you're calculating commissions to the salespeople who are selling that. Like it just overall it's disappointing. Like I didn't want to wake up this morning and make a video like this, because I do try to put out the most honest content I can when I can. Like obviously you guys know I haven't been posting a lot like for the last several months. I've just been doing my own thing. But the last thing I'm going to do is let somebody stick a finger in my face and take down my video, because I know what I put out there had character and integrity. So you guys let me know what you think in the comments below. Please, like seriously, like let me know everything you're seeing about this company, because honestly, until they took down my video, I hadn't been paying attention to them because I just don't care anymore. But I want everybody to make wise investments, wise choices for themselves. And when I feel like something's unfair, I'm gonna let it be known. So yeah, just drop your comments down below. Let me know if there's anything I need to check up on, because at this point it's like they should probably reach out and have a conversation with me.